Welcome back to Half Moon's Picks, Week 8 in the NFL, and last week I did tremendous 6-2, 3-1 in my video picks. The only game I missed, I had Washington -10 and they won by 9, so I lost a point. I did pick up that teaser, so I made it 4-1 on my video picks. My unders and overs, I went 2-1. A lot of people say, hey, where are those overs? Where are they at? Where are they? I need them now. I understand. But I also factor in weather. As you notice, I picked 2 unders and they're both rain games. That's what I do. I factor in that weather. Won both those 2. I had the over in the Rams-Atlanta game, and the Atlanta Matt Ryan just a dud. He only scored 3 points. Well, the offense with him, he didn't score anything. So Matt Schaub came in and scored a touchdown at the last minute, but didn't quite kick that over, so I lost that one. 2-1, not too bad on the overs. Let's see. One thing about this week is no divisional games will be played this week. It's a lot of inter-conference, out-of-conference matchups. Kind of scary. Usually these teams don't play against each other all the time. The divisional games, it's going to be close. It's going to be a battle. But, but then again, last week, where they had the Patriots destroyed the Jets. Wasn't even close. Cowboys destroyed the Eagles. Horrible. I mean, I had to turn it off in like first quarter, both games. Like, why bother? It's a blowout, so. Buys this week, we got the Baltimore Ravens on a bye and the Dallas Cowboys on a bye. So both teams I like to usually bet on. If you're not familiar with my show or have been off and on this week, just like and subscribe. I mean, I get more views than I have subscribers every single week. So please subscribe to my channel. I can't tell you how much that means to me. One thing, odd weeks been really good to me. I've won on every odd week. I don't know why, back and forth. Even weeks have been kind of crazy and not too good at. So that's why I'm 50%. Win odd weeks, horrible even weeks. And this is an even week that's coming up. No divisional games. And one thing I briefly like to talk over, if you look back on my last even week, so I'm going to do things a little bit different, just look back, see what to focus on. So week 6, they had only 3 favorites covered. 3 favorites covered, and all the upsets, so the teams that were underdogs, you can look back. Carolina, good team. Now we could, look back and say, hey, that was a good team. Cincinnati, oddly covered at week 6. Seattle, good team. They're underdog. Houston, underdog. New Orleans, underdog. So, San Francisco was an underdog even. Arizona, they picked up the pace. And Pittsburgh, they've been covering lately. So now I can look forward and say, hey, we know who's good and who's bad. And there's a trade deadline. A lot of teams are the bad teams are even getting rid of some of their teammates, just get better draft picks and already starting next season already. That trade deadline ends on the 29th of this month. So here we are seeing like Denver, Atlanta getting rid of players, and right before the deadline in hopes to have a better season next year. So what more can you say? So looking back, I like a lot of favorites this week, a lot of square plays, but there are some few dogs. Hopefully I'll have a good even week this week. If you're believing in the ups and downs, just fade every pick and you'll do well. That's what it was all year so far, but I plan on changing it. So stick with me and we'll go from there. All right, so the comment of the week this week from KD313. You flat out suck balls. Last week, scratching my head. Pick opposite of this guy, and you'll win. If you hadn't noticed, it was an even week that week. I went back and reversed it and said, hey, We know what I did wrong. Let's hope for a good week. Let's get on with the show. And my fourth pick of the week, my upset pick of the week, we got the Carolina Panthers traveling to the San Francisco 49ers. Carolina Panthers are a 6-point road dog. And here the Carolina Panthers are coming off a bye. They've been preparing for the 49ers for the last 2 weeks. Run CMC's, one of the greatest players, if not the best player in the NFL right now, at leads in passing, leads in rushing. Go to San Francisco. San Francisco, they're on a tear. They're 6-0. They just won at Washington 9-0. Their offense is kind of sputtering, but their defense is keeping them in games. San Francisco did just pick up Emmanuel Sanders, a wide receiver from Denver. He's actually a pretty good player to help out that offense. The offense is 11th ranked for San Francisco and 2nd in the NFL in defense. On the other hand, here we got Carolina. They're 3rd ranked offense and 15th ranked defense. So, it's a even game. It should be a great game. Ever since Cam Newton, got injured, the Carolina Panthers have been undefeated as well. So you got 2 undefeated teams in my mind, and you're giving me 6 points. So give me Carolina Panthers +6. And my third pick of the week, we got the Cleveland Browns traveling to the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots are a 13.5-point favorite, and it seems like no matter what number you stick on the Patriots, they seem to cover. They're 63% covering the spread in the last 15 years. That's just a remarkable number. Last week I picked I had the Jets +10.5, a divisional game. It was 33-0. Piece of cake. Patriots never sleep. They just constantly study, film, practice, no matter what, offense, defense, new scheme. Even if they get way ahead, it's like a practice game to them. We're just gonna practice on our 2-minute drill, because they're so far ahead, and they bring in substitutes. They just picked up Mohamed Sanu from Atlanta. One of my favorite receivers that was on that Atlanta team, and now they got on that explosive offensive team for New England. Just another weapon under Bill Belichick. And here we go, a Bill Belichick versus Kitchens. Totally mismatched coaches side, no comparison whatsoever. Baker Mayfield, #1 in interceptions in the NFL right now, leads the league in 11 interceptions. To me, you got the Browns 23 in offense, 23rd in defense as well. They're 0-5 in New England since 1995. And you got the #1 offense in New England and the #1 defense. That defense is terrorizing. It's hard to even score a touchdown on that team. So I can't imagine this even being close. So give me the New England Patriots -13.5. My second pick of the week, we got the Green Bay Packers traveling to the Kansas City Chiefs. The Green Bay Packers are a 5.5-point favorite. And to me, this with Patrick Mahomes, he's out for the game. He is injured with that dislocated knee. But with them, it was supposed to be like a 4-point favorite to Kansas City. But now it's a 5-point favorite, so they give them like 9 points just for Patrick Mahomes being out. So I did my study. Matt Moore, like I said, so you take out all the stats pretty much because he is the team. So I look back on Matt Moore. Matt Moore, the backup. It used to be for Miami. When Tannehill go out, they bring in Matt Moore. And one game that always came to mind was that a couple of years ago when Miami did make the playoffs, they played in that wild card game against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh just dominated them. Tannehill was out. It was a spread. It was like 30-13, something like that. It just got sacked so many times. They were just messing around with the Dolphins. It's such an onslaught. I get the same feeling Green Bay's going to do the same here. Aaron Rodgers, I know you're saying, hey, Kansas City, they held up against Denver, who has like one of the worst offenses in the NFL. But yeah, it got like 9 sacks against Denver. But Denver's depleted. You're not going to sack Aaron Rodgers 9 times. It's just not going to happen. Aaron Rodgers is going to light up that defense, and Matt Moore is just going to fumble around, get sacked a bunch of times. It's going to get ugly. And that's what I'm thinking. I know they do have some decent weapons in Kansas City's offense, Tyreek Hill and whatnot, but that Matt Moore, he retired a couple years ago. He was teaching high school football, and he'd been out of playing for like a year or so, over a year I think. And here they bring him back on the field. He's probably not in any kind of football shape. He's not really I know he's kind of a veteran, been playing for a long time, but he's not very good. So give me Green Bay -5.5. And my number 1 pick of the week, we got the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills are only a 2-point favorite. Now, Buffalo, top 3 defense, no doubt about it. Their offense sputters around a little bit, but the Philadelphia Eagles just horrible. They're just so riddled with injuries. They gave up 37 and 38 points in their last 2 games. The last one, they played Dallas, and they only scored 10 points on offense. 10 points, that's it. Dallas, who lost 3 games in a row, lost to the New York Jets. And then Philadelphia comes in and they get obliterated. It's just amazing. The Eagles are 1-3 straight up and ATS on the road. They're 25th ranked defense. What I did, I took the Bills, and I know the Bills offense had scored a lot of points, but last time they played a bad defense was like Miami. So I know Miami's just a little, they're like 32nd, and the Eagles are 25th right now. They could be down there recently with the recent injuries. But so the Bills, they scored 31 points against Miami. So they can score points against a bad defense. And the spread's only 2 points. So give me Buffalo -2. Well, that's it. Those are my 4 favorite picks for the week. I'm hoping to do exceptionally well on a even week. God forbid. And if that's all you need, there you go. But let's talk a little bit more about the other games as well. My teasers, it's a popular pick. I won. Seems like every other week as well. I hit my teasers last week, my 3-team teasers. That's a good cash in, those 3-team teasers. So I do 7-point 3-team teasers. This week I got Detroit at a pick 'em. These are 7-point favorite. Tampa Bay +9.5. And Carolina +13. So those are my 3 teams this week. I was going to throw in a couple other teams as well. If you want to, make some more. About 2 I ended up tossing out, which I really like. Teasing down Indianapolis to a pick 'em. And what was the other one? I like the Miami Dolphins. Was it like 21.5 points? Those are the 2 teams that I kind of pushed out, but if you wanted to add those 2, and you get a 5-team teaser, that's a lot of money there. So I would say, Indianapolis, at a pick 'em, Dolphins plus 21.5. All right, let's go over the other games as well. Just my thoughts and who I like so far. There's a lot of things that haven't come into play on here, but we can just run down and see what my opinion are on them. So we got the Thursday night game. We got Washington traveling to Minnesota. There's a lot of people say, Adrian Peterson, who plays for Washington, used to play for Minnesota. And then you got Kirk Cousins, who used to play for Washington. And then you got Case Keenum, who used to play for Minnesota. Team that's been, switching players for the last few years. Washington's so bad. They got blanked. They covered last week and got blanked. I've never seen that before. But, And of course, I bet on that game last week. But Cousins here, I know he has the worst primetime record ever, but he's been improving in the last couple weeks. But you always say that, and then he has a primetime game, he does horrible. The spread is 16 points. It's hard to take Washington for anything. They're just so bad. And you got all these explosive weapons from Minnesota. It's either Minnesota minus 16 or nothing for me. Adam Thielen is out. He got a hamstring injury last week against Detroit. But, that shouldn't affect him too much since, Washington is just so bad. Washington is the 30th ranked offense and the 22nd ranked defense. The favorites have covered the last 2 weeks on Thursday night with those big spreads. So, taking Minnesota minus the 16 on this one. Next, we got the New York Giants traveling to Detroit. Detroit lost 3 games in a row. They were keeping up with Minnesota and then just got hit by the injury bug the second half. Detroit seems to cover the first half of every game and then just die the second half. I don't know what it is. Fatigue, maybe? I don't know. But I know they're not going to lose against the Giants. Usually they play the Giants really well. They just totally destroyed the Giants the last few times they played, and the Giants were a better team at that time. Here they are; they're just a horrible team this year. They're 1-2 ATS on the road. Like I said, I got Detroit in my teasers. I usually don't put them on the betting table since I'm a huge Lions fan, unless I know for a fact I'm winning with them. So I pick them every week, but that's just for my personal preferences. I only feed them to you if I know for a fact they're going to win or if they're going to lose. So, like I said, I'm taking Detroit minus the 7, and they need, in order to stay in that division, it's the hardest division in the NFL, they need to win. That's the bottom line. They need to win. It's a bad team coming in. They need to win this game. Kerryon Johnson, he might not play. Who else I got hit? Slay was questionable. Snacks Harrison questionable as well. But I'm still taking Detroit minus 7. I'm going to probably wait to the end, close to the game day, hoping someone lays a bunch of money on the Giants and maybe get 6.5 or buy a half a point. Because it's the 7 points is might be right on the mark there. So give me Detroit minus 7. Next, we got the Chargers traveling to Chicago. Now, this is an interesting game. Neither offenses seem to get under the ground. Both defense are playing well for both the Chargers and, Chicago's 5th ranked defense. Chicago's 7 in the last 10 games against the AFC, does well against the AFC. Teams that don't matter. So, and here they get the Chargers on back-to-back road games. And they fumbled on that 1-yard line against Tennessee last week. Oh, what a heartbreaker. But I had Tennessee, so I was lucky for me. The Chargers are 1-5-1 ATS this year. I'm taking Chicago. It's only a 4-point spread on this game. This game feels like Chicago's going to win by a field goal. That's what it feels like. And here it is, a 4-point spread dangling in my face. So I'm not putting too much on it. I know a lot of people are taking those Chargers, thinking it's going to be a real close game. And it might. Trubisky doesn't seem to be doing much. But this might be this breakout game where he just blows his team out. You just never know. He's just going to fall into never land. And then Trubisky's just going to say, what the heck just happened? So give me Chicago minus 4 just for the sake of taking this game. Next, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to the Tennessee Titans. Tannehill, he did pretty well. I mean, Marcus Mariota, I don't think Tennessee's going to keep him. He'd make a good backup quarterback, no doubt about that. Tampa Bay, off a bye, but like I said, I was a big Bucs fan. I used to go to the games when I was in Florida, and I just never trusted Jameis Winston. He just intercepted. I mean, I know they try to limit what he does at the beginning of the game, but when they get down, he has to sling it, and he has the second most interceptions in the NFL right now at 10. it wasn't for Baker Mayfield at 11, he would be leading it. So how do you invest in someone who just slings that ball and gets picked off a lot? And Tennessee's a good defense too. Tennessee, 4th ranked defense against a gunslinger. Bucs offense is ranked 4th in the NFL right now. So, it's going to be a good head-to-head battle. It's a low point spread. I'm probably taking Tennessee as they're the home team, and just hope Jameis Winston throws a couple of picks to keep him out of the game. Next, we got the Seattle Seahawks traveling to Atlanta. This point spread's off the books on a lot of books right now. They don't know if Ryan or Schaub's playing at quarterback for the Falcons, but it doesn't matter. Right? It's like 3.5 at some books. Seattle usually wins by 1 or 2, 3 points. And it's 3.5, so they're begging you to take Atlanta, but who would take Atlanta? I think Russell Wilson will have his one of his better games against this bad defense. Atlanta's already selling off some of the team, waiting for next year. Sanu's gone. He went to New England. So, yeah, I'm taking Seattle, no doubt about it. What the spread is, I'm sure it'll go up, especially if they announce Schaub's playing. So, take Seattle if it's under a touchdown. Next, we got the New York Jets traveling to Jacksonville. This one I went back and forth on. I like Jacksonville, but, they didn't play that great in Cincinnati. If it wasn't for those last 3 picks, and one was a pick 6 at the end of the game, with Andy Dalton slinging that ball around, which you knew that would happen. Then Jackson wouldn't have, covered that spread. But here, Jets, they just got blanked by the Patriots. They got something to prove, and then they're playing, a semi-bad team of Jacksonville. I think they might cover the spread because it's at 6. I don't trust Jacksonville covering more than 6. Might even get up to 7 game day. You never know. So, give me the Jets plus that 6. Next, we got the London game, the Rams versus Cincinnati. It's a high spread, 13.5 points. Rams seem to be, in high gear against bad teams, especially like at Atlanta last week. They just destroyed it. They staying on the East Coast. They're going to travel Thursday to London. And I think it's going to be just like Atlanta. They're just going to tear right through them. Too many weapons on the Rams. And there's no way, and what Andy Dalton, he starts slinging and gets so far behind. You saw what happened last week, just interception. So, yeah, give me the Rams, minus 13.5. I don't like it, but, I can't see putting money down on the Bengals this week. Next, we got Arizona at New Orleans. This was going to be my original upset of the week, but I couldn't pull the trigger. I didn't know if Bridgewater or Breeze was going to play, for one thing. They had the spread. It's anywhere from 8.5 to 10.5. They haven't announced the quarterback. To be variables, Arizona's been playing well these last 3 weeks, but then again, what teams have they played? They played the Bengals, Atlanta, and the Giants. So you're like, they get that taste of, victory, but they're also on back-to-back weeks. They played bad teams. They had the 28th ranked defense. But New Orleans, they got a bye next week, and they're like, they just get this win and just call it, go into their bye, and just, they might just overlook the Cardinals. You don't know. And they might rest Breeze another couple weeks. You don't know. So, yeah, I was going to take Arizona, depending on the spread, and I haven't got a good spread yet. So if it's in double digits, I might take Arizona. But if it's in single digits or close to 10, I'm probably taking the Saints. So next, we got Oakland traveling to Houston, another back-to-back road game for Oakland. It seems like they're always on the road, no matter what. And they played, Green Bay well last week. They're just gunslinging it with Aaron Rodgers. Carr was. They're 3-3. Houston's 4-3. Houston, they lost to Indianapolis last week. They lost one of their weapons, Will Fuller, wide receiver to a hamstring. And here, this was going to be my other upset, but at 7 points, I do like Oakland, but this game's usually close. I mean, I remember the playoff games, it's a close game. I remember when they played in Mexico, it's close games. It's always, by a spread. Here, I mean, 7 points, it might even be good Oakland plus, 14. You tease it, maybe another good teaser there. But I've taken Oakland on the road. They're 1-2 ATS wise on the road. Kind of, but I do like Oakland against Houston. So give me Oakland plus that 7. Next we got Denver traveling to Indianapolis. Indianapolis 6-point favorite. Another game, I just stayed away from. These Denver's offensive lines is so depleted. They're sacked 9 times. Flacco's sacked 9 times. It's Kansas City, who's a bad defense. You got the Colts, who are a much better defense, and being first place. Who would have thought that, especially after Luck retiring? Well, I never saw that coming. They're 4-2 right now, leading the division. And Denver just, they're already getting rid of players as well. They traded Emmanuel Sanders so to San Francisco. And then here at Indianapolis, like I said, they just want to win and prove something that they can do without their star quarterback. So I know 6 points is a lot, but I like Indianapolis minus that 6. And next we got the great Monday Night Football, if you want to call it a game. We got Miami traveling to Pittsburgh. 2 teams I have no faith in much. I know Pittsburgh, you've been covering spread 4-0 with backup quarterbacks against the spread. They haven't been winning a lot. But Miami here, they are back-to-back road games. And right now, they got Miami is the #1 public bet. That's the thing that keeps me off it. #1 public bet. Everybody's all on board with Miami, thinking that's it was 16.5 points. Now it's down to 14.5. Man, you get the 32nd ranked offense and the 32nd ranked defense. Pittsburgh's at home. Man, I don't know. I'd probably be siding with Miami with 14.5. He's at 3 scores. Man, it's a tough one. I'd probably not, if I do lay any money just because I'm so bored on Monday night, it'll be a low amount on Miami. So, alright, that's it for me. And this week 8 in the books, my picks and what I like. I hope you, again, like and subscribe this video. I can't, just do it right now. You watch the end, you got all the content that you could out of it. Just hit that like and then subscribe if you have not subscribed. I can't tell you how much that means to me, and that's what keeps me going. I've been doing this 6 years, 7 years, something like that. I lost count, but I enjoy doing it. I enjoy making the graphs. I enjoy making the picks, and I'm here for you. I'm here for me and for you, and I enjoy the feedback. Thanks for coming. I will see you next week. Peace. You enjoy placing a few bucks on your favorite team? Maybe try your hand at cards or on the slots. Use me as a reference and head over to my Twitter and click on the link below and receive a new member bonus and help support this channel. Bovada, just better. No, I heard the funniest, corniest joke ever in the history of the world. This says, what did Mama Corn say to Baby Corn? Where's the popcorn? So dumb.